Welcome, my dear friend, to R.P.M. Recognize, plug in, and manifest your life. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard, spiritual teacher, best-selling author, and host of Center of Light Radio, which airs every Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I am so glad you have arrived here with me today. There are no accidents. You are here on purpose. You are here by divine design. Your life is about to change. You want change? I am here to offer it to you here and now. Let's dive right into this fabulous, life-changing program. I think it's very important that I share with you how I got on this path of spirituality and how I used what I've learned to bring me to this point to where I'm able to share this with you. As I look back on my life from my present vantage point, I can see that a deliberate hand has affected it always. But because I was unaware of its influence, I lived in an ongoing state of turmoil and fear. At various times in my childhood, I did actually manage to slow down enough to sense these promptings, especially when I served as an altar boy every Sunday in church. Then when I was a teenager, I even attended a seminary school and thought seriously about becoming a Catholic priest. If you know me, you would probably find that quite humorous. But that isn't really what I wanted, it seems, because I soon reverted back to living in my unconscious ways. As the years passed with many ups and downs, I came to regard the few good things that happened to me as my life's highlights, and I despised the bad ones because I thought that only proved that things would always get worse. And I was perpetually worried about how or if this young kid, Keith Blanchard, was ever going to find his way. In my late 20s, I finally had to admit that I was living with way too much chaos inside and all around me. Since nothing else I'd done had ever worked to help me get things in order, I decided to at least try to surrender the rest of my life to God's will. After I made my decision to get more faith in my life, I went about living it, even though I didn't know for sure if anything was ever going to change for the better. It was around then that God got my attention big time, but he didn't come to me as you might imagine. There was no burning bush. I didn't have a talk with George Burns, and Jesus did not appear over my bed. No, God came to me through someone that I had been involved with for about 10 years in a relationship. Towards the end of our relationship, things were not at all good between this person and myself. In fact, they were terrible. All we did was fight. Our relationship had become one of no communication, patience, or tolerance. It was just awful because through all of our troubles, I still loved her. And through it all, I prayed to God that we could find some peace. I should have been clear about what I asked for because to my amazement, one day my longtime love told me that she wanted to end the relationship. That began a landmark period for me, even though through my pain, I couldn't see it at the time. Now I know that that's where I truly recognize God as a presence in my life for the very first time. Early on in this time of transition, I began to meditate every day in an effort to find some sense of stillness, to help myself stay in that peaceful state, and to make myself more available for any God manifestation that might come along. I soon intensified my practice. Whatever I was doing must have worked because one day God actually spoke to me and I could actually hear his voice. "Good morning, Keith," was what I heard when I was abruptly wakened on that cloudy June morning in 1996. In my dazed state, I thought that her friend was nudging me to get me up so they could tease me for being so lazy. But when I sat up in bed, I could see no one there. And that's when that voice began to speak to me again. And it said, "I'm inside of you. Yes, it's true that I'm here with you and you are here with me." At that moment, I fell back on the bed, my eyes closed, and I found myself standing in the presence and light of God. As I tried to collect myself, my first thought was, what in the world do I do with this? And that's when the voice responded. It said, "I shall tell you. Sit on your sofa, press record on your tape player, close your eyes, and let your mouth move." So I did what the voice instructed, and to my astonishment, out poured volumes of the most far out material I had ever heard. When I opened my eyes after that first God session, all I could think was, oh shit. Later that afternoon, when I shared what happened with my then brother-in-law Kevin, he suggested, "Keith, maybe you should go meet with Robin." Robin was an acquaintance of Kevin's and was a very good psychic. Kevin assured me that he was genuine and he was very, very good at what he did and most likely could tell me about what was happening to me and the phenomena that began to appear in my life. Robin was an acquaintance of his with the gift of sight. He was a psychic. Kevin assured me that Robin was genuine and very good at what he did and most likely could tell me much more about the phenomena that began to appear in my life. Though I never met this person before, I determined to let what he said help me decide what to do next. I made an appointment with Robin as soon as I could. When I got to his home the next afternoon, he answered the door, greeted me warmly, and invited me upstairs to the sanctuary he created where our reading would take place. As soon as I sat down and we got settled, Robin asked me to tell him my zodiac sign and then asked to look at my left palm. To this day, I remember the first thing that he said to me. "You are being told to write a book, aren't you?" And that's when I hit the floor. I said, "What? Oh my God, this has to be real." I was so blown away that I had a hard time concentrating on the rest of the reading. In fact, I don't remember any of it except what he said about writing that book. I left Robin's house still not certain about what I was going to do next, other than begin to write all the words that the voice was speaking into my mind. Over the next few years, questioning the whole time why I was doing this, something kept happening that helped me to accept my fate. What was that, you might ask? What helped you finally and wholly surrender to your path? Well, after hearing the voice for a while, I began to have strong premonitions that would fade in and out as I diligently transcribed on the computer all that was coming to me. It was as if God was handing me a complete plan that told me what I needed to do in order to help myself and others. Those visions have continued to reinforce my trust through this entire process. And the more I've let myself trust, the easier it's been for me to hear and feel the love that can only come from such a wondrous being. And so now today, my dear brother and or sister, I share with you humbly and gratefully all the incredible things that I've learned, the splendor, the joy, the wisdom that I have received over many, many years of intense spiritual practice. And I wish for you too a life full of love, peace, prosperity, and the same bliss that I've come to accept and know in my life. And I'm forever in your service. This is how it all started for me. Pain was a catalyst, but I hope that pain is not the reason that brought you here. But if so, then it's purposeful. And now that you're here, get ready for your life to unfold in ways you've never thought possible. I've done the work for so long that I've become very, very proficient at shaving miles or shortcuts, if there is such a thing, rather to hand you a complete blueprint for your best life. I would like you to understand that when I was living for those 2 years in emotional distress, pain, depression, despair, the dark night of the soul, if you will, when I finally had enough of that experience, I realized that I had to humble myself. Getting down on my knees, metaphorically and or literally, I began to say a very fervent prayer. And that prayer is, I need to hear your voice, meaning God. But I was so passionate and sincere, even though I said this prayer for 3 weeks to a month, I am absolutely convinced, bones to bones, in and out, in every possible aspect, in every fiber of my being, that it wasn't the length of time that I said this prayer convinced God, if you will. I think Keith is now serious. Let me show up and give him what he's been asking for. In my very first asking, I had all the passion, all the fire a human being could possibly muster. And so I was wide open in that very first session of my humility, asking God to be present in my life. I am absolutely convinced that in my first asking was enough for God to show up in my life 3 weeks later. I would like to share with you one of the first messages that came through when this experience began to happen. The reason being, I want you to have a solid foundation, an understanding which will help integration, conviction of the power of the tools that I will be handing to you through this R.P.M. Recognize, Plug In, and Manifest program, but also to give you an understanding of the energy, the consciousness, the being, the spirit of what I was communicating with at that period of my life. Again, this is the very first message that came through when I began to log all that came through when I had these writing sessions with God. Keith, dear one, make no mistake about who I am. I am God. I have no particular name, for they all belong to me. I am all things, all that is. I am the universal generator of supreme knowledge and divine energy. I am you. I am everything you can perceive and everything you cannot. I am the choreographer of the human dance. I am the conductor of the cosmic symphony. I am the universal playwright. I am the Almighty, the Most High, the Creator. I am love. I am all teachers who have ever come bringing information about love and peace. I am Jesus the Christ. I am the Buddha. I am Krishna. I am Satya Sai Baba. I am the all-knowing, all-pervasive, and all-seeing I. I am clarity. I am union. I am the eternal. I am the absolute in and of all things. I am the Atma, the soul, and the tree of life. I am the only one. I am that I am. God am I. I come to you imbued with love and light, joy and might. My purpose is of the highest calling, to give you the precious gifts of my words and my love so that you can share them with others and inspire them to join you in carrying out my mission of love, peace throughout the world, bliss, and expansion into heaven on earth. That would be a pretty powerful session for someone who is new to such a path and was not ever expecting this kind of event into my life. R.P.M. Recognize, plug in, and manifest. Lessons and transformations. Here is our first lesson in transformation. Conscious contact. Close encounter of the best kind. Understanding the importance of meditation. Learn how to do it. First and foremost, of utmost importance, is to understand unity. Let's look at the definition of union. An alliance for mutual benefit. The bringing together of two entities into a whole. If we understand and agree that the dictionary is the resource for our language to convey our ideas or ideas in general, that statement right there, the bringing together of two entities into a whole. There is only one. So we must begin to see ourselves as not separate from the divine. That's the idea. It is most important in building the foundation of one's house, in building the foundation of one's consciousness, unity, but not only in the form of a concept, not only in the form of intellect. We must begin to integrate that and bring it and plant it inside of ourselves in such a way that we ground it into Mother Earth. And we do that by learning how to meditate. So what I would like to do now is to give you a meditation that I'd done a few years ago, and it's quite yummy. There's lots of really cool piano. There's lots of subliminals. Subliminals are positive, so no worries there. You will hear them. But I do suggest that you put on some headphones for a really cool experience, because there's some stereo imaging that will happen, meaning you will hear things move from the left side of your head to the right side of your head and back and forth. That will create for a really, really cool experience. So this is a meditation called Anchoring Heaven on Earth, and I hope you enjoy it, which I'm absolutely sure you will, and you will feel yourself becoming connected, empowered. You will begin to feel your connection to something greater than yourself. You will begin to feel expanded. You will be tapping into greater levels of peace, greater levels of bliss. Here is your Anchoring Heaven on Earth audio meditation. Have you ever imagined what heaven would be like? Well, let's do that now. Close your eyes and begin to breathe in and out. Is it possible that God loves each and every one of us so much that we all can have what we truly desire here, now? Peace is your birthright. It is why you were born here on this planet. Become that very peace. Become heaven on earth. And live and dwell in the glory and fullness of that experience every day for the rest of your life. This meditation audio series was designed for you to find that sacred space within yourself. To find yourself as one with your Creator. For the Creator of the universe will not have it any other way. God only has one desire, and that is to make you desire less, so that you may become available inside, so that the grace and the gifts of the Spirit can pour into you and bring you a life of fulfillment, joy, bliss, heaven. At this time, take an inventory of your entire self. What does it feel like in this moment to be you? You are happy. Without judgment, just notice, observe, be aware. What thoughts move through your mind? Just notice, just be aware, without judgment. What feelings are stirring within? Watch them come. Watch them go. Detach yourself. See yourself as the Spirit looking down on your thoughts and feelings as they move through you. Breathe in fully and deeply, and exhale. Let your breath fall into the earth. Breathe in, exhale. Let your breath fall into the earth. Breathe in, exhale. Let your breath fall into the earth. Continue this breathing sequence. Breathe in positivity, light, peace, God, heaven. Exhale all that you wish to see leave your life. Heaven is here now. And thank them for being there to teach you. Breathe in light, love, peace, God. As you let
let your breath fall into the earth. See all that you wish to leave you. Just let go. Go from your life, never to return. Thank you. Continue this sequence. Breathe in peace. It is your birthright. Exhale any worry that may be lingering. If there is worry, where is that located? What does it mean? Does it have a meaning at all? Why worry? Or does it matter? There's no need to worry. Breathe in God. Exhale into the earth. And with each breath, breathe from a space of gratitude. Feel it lift you. And as you exhale, feel yourself falling deeper into yourself, your sacred self. Continue with the breathing. Make your breathing one circular motion. So what does your heaven look like? Is it a place? Or is it a space? Heaven is here now. Is it something you feel that you can attain? Yes. Yes, you can. Is it something you feel that you are unworthy of experiencing? You are worthy. And if so, why? Everything you want is here now. You are created by love and sustained by love. Does it look like all your childhood dreams when you were innocent? You were so innocent. Is it being with loved ones? Is it a place you've always wanted to visit? Or is it both? You can have anything you desire. Is it using a certain talent every day, something that you may do very well? Is it singing? Playing a guitar? Is it painting a picture? This is your heaven. And you are creating it right here and right now. Can it really be that easy? Yes. Breathe in. Breathe Can you visualize, can you see yourself in your sacred space, your sanctuary, your heaven? How real, how tangible can you make this space inside of you? Inside of you. Are the images you're receiving crystal clear? If not, what do you need to do to make that happen? You know what to do. You've always known. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel yourself lifting up as you breathe in, but yet feel yourself surrender and fall deeper into yourself as you exhale into the earth. My life is peaceful. Can you feel the peace moving in your body? My mind is clear. Can you feel the peace moving in your mind? My heart is healed. Can you feel the peace flowing through your heart? Life is good. Life is good. You are standing at the gates of heaven. How fortunate are you? And you remember a famous quote of scripture. Knock. Knock, and the door shall be opened. I am open. I'm standing within myself, within myself. And that is just what you do. I will knock as long as it takes. And as you gently rap on the golden gate, it opens immediately. My heart is now open with an invitation that you are welcome here. You are always welcome here. Always. Truth is so simple, that without forcing anything, it brings about the natural flow of life. You are in the flow. This is just the way it is. You are in the flow. Maybe you can see yourself as riding a raft down the river. I have to do nothing. It is not necessary that you assist the raft. For motion, just be. Paddling is not necessary. The current of the stream pushes you along. As you enjoy the ride, feel the exhilaration. I can feel it. Yes, yes. Of such. I can feel it. Breathe in and out. My life is on purpose. I'm living my passion. Can you feel your being glowing with radiant, precious, life-giving light. I am healthy, life-giving energy. Can you feel your connection to the entire universe? I am one with the universe. Can you feel the connection to your most sacred self? I am one with the universe. Can you feel God? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the peace? It has always been there and forever will be. So this is heaven. The more you find yourself in such a space, the more you begin to anchor heaven within you, creating on this planet, on this earth, within yourself, that which you are. Heaven. I remember now. I remember. Again, you look around in your heaven and you notice a loved one. Maybe it's someone who has passed. Maybe it's someone who is with you, but you look up to. Maybe it's a favorite deity. And as they approach, you know they have a message for you. Something you've been waiting to hear. That would change your life. That would change your life. I deserve a new life. I deserve the best life. As they walk upon you, they raise their hand and open it and hand you something. What is it? It's what I've always wanted. It's what I've always needed. It's always been with me. And as they motion to whisper in your ear, you so welcome and invite what it is they have for you in the form of a secret. What is that secret? What is that secret? You are a child of God. You are a child of God who deserves everything. And you tell them thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts they have given you. And you can now feel the power rising within you, growing, ever expanding, which will guarantee the manifestation of the life you deserve. And now that heaven is crystal clear, you understand exactly what you need to do to make that happen. I've always known. What is it you need to take action on? I must begin the process of bringing that to me. Where in your thought process do you need to do more work? I'm going to change my mind about everything. I know nothing except that I desire peace and fulfillment. Again, look around you. What do you see in heaven? Anything I choose. Is it a stillness? Or is there activity? Perhaps children playing. Breathe. I feel so alive when I breathe. I am grateful to breathe. Breathing is so essential to my life. You are a divine child. Maturing into adulthood as God. Becoming one with your Creator. Becoming one with your most sacred self. I am conscious of my breathing. This is the way of the Christ. Jesus achieved enlightenment. The way of the Buddha. Buddha achieved enlightenment. The way to everlasting peace. So can I. So can I. So can I am in heaven. I am home. I am home. That which you have long forgotten, you are now remembering. All that serves you is now coming into conscious recall. I'm amazed I remember so much. I am amazed I remember so well. I remember. I remember. I remember. And forevermore you will use these tools of the Spirit. Breathing. Appreciation. Trust. Surrender. Of course, love. These will become a part of your daily life. These will become your way of life. With effortless ease. There's no longer a need to struggle. As you see life all around you with new eyes, I can see. And a new heart, I can feel. Heaven is now manifesting for you, through you, on earth. And you will dwell here forevermore.